Welcome back. This is Ghana Tonight. Now, there's been concerns raised by not just the political parties, but civil society organizations about the ongoing voter registration exercise. The Electoral Commission addressed the press yesterday, raising a number of issues. But the Commissioner for the Commission on Human Rights and Administrative Justice, SHRAJ, Joseph Votal, says that any administrative process that would lead to people being disenfranchised is an infringement on the fundamental human rights of eligible voters. And the Electoral Commission must take that into consideration. Take a look.
Georgina Wood had occasion to speak, or in a particular case, Abu Ramadan. She indicated that the right to vote is very important for every Ghanaian. That must be respected because it's a right that will lead to so many rights, because when you form a government and it's your vote that forms the government, both central and local, you have been consulted as a people. But she goes on to say that the registering as a voter is even more important. The Electoral Management Body, that's the Electoral Commission, ought not to put impediments in the way of the registration of Ghanaians who have to register in order to be able to exercise their right to vote. In fact, Georgina Wood calls that, in Abu Ramadan's case, as the golden key that unlocks the power of the people. Alice, you know what is happening right now. Why should one institution be given so much power, aided by the Supreme Court, because of the interpretations the Supreme Court has given in a number of election matters that has come before them, practically making the Electoral Commission untouchable, so that they can even have the temerity to go before Parliament and say, Parliament cannot determine what we do. I mean, where is our democracy going?
Well, so that's Joseph Votal there, raising fundamental questions about the Electoral Commission and the issues raised about the limited voter registration exercise and some people not having access conveniently to the district offices of the Electoral Commission, which has been a major concern. Bobby Bansing is a private legal practitioner. He's joining us on Zoom for a quick conversation on this. Bobby Bansing, thank you so much for joining us here on Ghana Tonight. So there's been questions raised about the Electoral Commission's mode of response to the political parties, and that was a press conference that the EC chair chose to address the concerns of the political parties. That for you, what exactly is the concern with that?
I believe the whole purpose of the inter-party
position is that the IPAC is established as an inter-party advisory committee to the Electoral Commission to provide the necessary counsel or advice to the Electoral Commission to enable the Commission discharge its constitutional mandate for the benefit of the major stakeholders or all the stakeholders to the electioneering process or the democratic dispensation. We cannot discount the fact that the political parties have huge interest in elections in this country. And so if there is a platform for all the political parties to provide legitimate advice or concerns, I think it would be out of place for the Commission to ignore whatever concerns that the electoral which concerns would be legitimate, especially when most or majority of the political parties are giving the EC the same vibe or feedback. And so when we take into consideration this registration of new voters register exercise, I read in the media that
I see, but so the EC's option of what, using a press conference, for you, it's not going to help in building consensus among the political parties and the major stakeholders in this election, or the registration process?
Will undertake such important the procedure or the processes need inputs on it.
I definitely do not agree, because when they first proposed or laid before the IPAC how they intend doing the registration exercise, I do not think the communication was done by means of a press conference. I mean, the IPAC is supposed to be a solemn institution, for lack of a better word, even though it has no legal limit. But the whole concept is supposed to make it very solemn, and in the sense that, you know, it's the means, a channel of communication between the Electoral Commission and the political party, coming to hold press conferences to address issues or concerns raised by political parties at a certain forum. And then you come and then you respond to it at a different forum. I think that it connotes a lack of trust or a break of communication. More for me, I think a lack of trust between the EC and the political parties, and looking at the interest that each of these has in the whole process. I think that they should be made to sit to understand that they coexist for the betterment of the Ghanaian populace and to contribute their quota to the democratic dispensation. And so I do not think that it augurs well for the Electoral Commission to respond to concerns raised by the political parties at the IPAC forum through a press conference.
I see, but hearing the EC chair talk about the fact that if the CI to make the Ghana card the sole document for registration had been passed or approved by Parliament, things would have been different. I mean, does it concern you?
I don't know what they mean by things should have been different. We have had an electoral register used in 2020, December, so less than 3 years ago, that we didn't use the Ghana card. But the elections were credible, at least in the eyes of the Electoral Commission. I do not see the major difference it will take with this excuse. Yes, the law.
Anyway, but unfortunately, we lost Bobby Bansing there. Forgive. We need to apologize for the hitch in the connections earlier. But Bobby Bansing is private legal practitioner. Thank you so much for joining us here on Ghana Tonight. But back in Accra, the Ledzokuku Municipal Assembly, there was issues that were raised by the various eligible applicants there because a number of them turned up without the Ghana card and had to now look for guarantors. In fact, there was also the challenge of the eligibility of 2 applicants who are alleged to be Burkinabes, which slowed down the process as well. Take a look.
The exercise was characterized by anger and frustration among potential registrants.
3 o'clock, I've been sitting here. 20 people have become and they will be taking them inside. Someone should come and form a queue and another person should go and do it. Is it good?
We got here around 4 o'clock, and the thing is, they are being protocol. If they bring new people, then they will take them there, then they'll be wasting our time. Then we'll be like we are sitting here like we are useless to them.
Parents who had come to guarantee for their wards were equally concerned.
You give only 2 machines to work at the constituency. We have 342 centers. What the measurement? If I seriously just want to punish the Ghanaian, that always the Ghanaian will be in the queue.
They were surprised about the decision to limit a constituency with 342 polling stations to 1 center, leading to frequent disagreement. The New Patriotic Party and the National Democratic Congress had their representatives stationed there. The NPP constituency second vice chair, Dennis Tete, had earlier challenged the eligibility of 2 persons they suspected were Burkinabes brought in by the NDC.
They were just looking for an opportunity to do whatever they want to do. And we, as party agents, we will also not allow them to be busing people from other constituencies, registering people who are foreigners. Just now, he, Atobi, the constituency organizer, he led 2 foreigners to come and register. We have challenged them. We have evidence. That's the reason why we challenge them. So we will make sure that the tribunal or whatever they will form, we will be fully represented. We will produce our evidences and buttress the point that they are foreigners.
The NDC constituency representative Emmanuel Metonono rebutted the claim, describing it as frivolous.
Even if you want to do any form of gerrymandering, would you bring somebody from Burkina Faso to register over here? There's one person that has been challenged. That's a Kokumba. Is a Kokumba a foreigner? The one person that has been challenged, a Kokumba, is he a foreigner? Kokumba are from people who are from the northern part of Ghana. Why do you challenge them? And you said that the NDC is bashing people. Do you see any bars here?
The Electoral Commission had registered and issued 1,689 voters over a 7-day period as of 1:30 p.m. on Tuesday.
Well, so that's what's happened in the Ledzokuku area, and this is an issue that we're going to keep an eye on and also update you on how this matter was resolved about the eligibility of these two persons who was alleged to be Burkinabes. But as at the end of yesterday, according to the Electoral Commission's own data on their website, these were the numbers. Take a look. The number of people who registered as at the end of day one, you have some 12,467. And then you see the regional breakdown. And then also we'll take you straight to day 7, which was yesterday. Because if you recall, when the EC chair was addressing the press, she gave a specific figure of the number of persons who have registered as at the end of Sunday. Now, as at the end of yesterday, based on the EC's own published data on its website today, as at the end of day 7, which was yesterday, 46,639 persons registered. That adds up to the 182,831 that the EC chair announced yesterday. So we're talking about something in the region of over 230, almost 230,000 people so far. And you see the regional breakdown and the spread there with the Greater Accra region, some 6,806. And you see the highest in there, we're seeing now that's from 7,033 being the Ashanti region. So consistently, the Ashanti region is recording the highest number of eligible voters now going to register. That's something we'll keep an eye on here on Ghana Tonight.